Hello everyone, welcome to video lectures on subject fluid mechanics. In these sessions, we are going to discuss unit number 2, dimensional analysis and model studies. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss methods of dimensional analysis. So what are the different methods of dimensional analysis? If number of variables involved in physical phenomenon are known, then the relation between these variables can be determined with the help of two methods. Let's consider that any physical phenomenon. Suppose let us consider that viscosity of a fluid. This is a property of fluid which is depend on suppose velocity, density, mass of a fluid, volume of a fluid. So these are the some variables which are known to us. Then if someone has told you to establish the relationship between these variables, suppose viscosity is a function of these four variables, then we can develop a mathematical model or dimensionless model which is known as dimensionless or dimensional analysis. So there are two methods of dimensional analysis. Number one is known as Rayleigh method and second method is known as Buckingham's pi method. So in this session we are going to discuss the introduction of Rayleigh method and Buckingham's pi theorem. Now what is meant by Rayleigh method? This method is used to determine the expression for variables which depend upon maximum 3 to 4 variables only. It means here let's take example of this is viscosity is depend on suppose 1, 2, 3 and 4 variable. So it means if any physical phenomenon is depend on maximum 3 to 4 variable, then only we can use Rayleigh method. Here it is directly mentioned that maximum 3 to 4 variables only. If the number of independent variable become more than 4, this becomes very difficult to find the expression for dependent variable. Let's consider another example. Suppose x1 is a dependent term on suppose different factors like suppose x2, x3, x4, x5, x6. So in this case, now let's understand how many variables are there. Here we have the number of variables like suppose 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So in this case, x1 is depend on these 5 variable and it will be very difficult for an engineer to use the Rayleigh method to establish the relationship between these variables. So in this case we will go for the next method that is known as Buckingham's pi theorem. Let's understand its statement and application. What was the disadvantage of Rayleigh method? In that method the maximum 3 to 4 variables are only used. But now let's understand what is the advantage of this Buckingham's pi theorem. Here the Rayleigh method of dimensional analysis become more laborious if the variables are more than 3 to 4. That is fundamental dimensions MLT. So this difficulty can be overcome by Buckingham's pi theorem. Means in Buckingham pi theorem we can go more than 3 to 4 variables, which states that if there are n number of variables which are independent and dependent, this is very much important. I will explain over here what is meant by n number of variables. Let's consider that if any physical phenomenon consists of n number of variables. So what is n? N is nothing but it is the addition of independent variable plus dependent variable. Okay. So what is independent variable? I told you that in fluid mechanics there are 4 independent variables, that is M, L, T and theta. So these are 4 independent variables and there may be number of independent variables. Let's consider that there are 6 dependent variables. 6 are dependent variables. Then what is the value of n? Then n is equal to 4 plus 6. So 4 plus 6. So it will be finally 10. So value of n is equal to 10. Okay. So if any physical phenomenon consists of n number of variable in a physical phenomenon, right? and these contains m fundamental dimensions, MLT, that is 3 fundamental dimensions. Okay, out of these 4, if you are considering 3, then these are known as m. M is nothing but fundamental dimension. Its value is fixed. We are not considering temperature in all further problems. We will consider only mass, length and time. Then we have fixed value of m in all the problems. Then the pi terms will be arranged in n minus m, which is known as a dimensionless terms. Okay, then what will be the number of dimensionless term? I will explain to you. Suppose n value is 10, and if suppose you are having m is equal to 3, then number of pi terms are equal to n minus m. So what will the answer? 10 minus 3. So answer will be 7. So we have to solve the problems for n is equal to, pi is equal to 7. So simply keep in your mind that if suppose n are the number of independent plus dependent variable, let's consider it is 7, and m is always fixed, that is MLT, that's value is suppose 3, then what will be the number of pi terms? Pi terms are equal to n minus m, which is nothing but 7 minus 3, which is equal to 4. So how many pi terms we have to consider in the problem? 4 pi terms, pi 1, pi 2, pi 3 and pi 4. Okay, we have to solve the equations for all pi terms, but I will tell you for BTech level up to maximum 3 pi terms the problems are there in the examination. More complex problems are not there. So we have to solve the pi 1, pi 2 and pi 3. Okay, so this is the Buckingham's pi theorem. Now let's understand, suppose x1 is a dependent variable which is depend on x2, x3 and number of variable up to xn. Okay, so this is difficult level. Instead of understanding this equation, I will explain more detail in problems. Okay, so if suppose x1 is a dependent on these variable, then x1 is a function of this variable. Then we can represent this equation as f1 in equation all, which is equal to 0. Then we can solve this equation for pi 1, pi 2 and pi 3. Okay, how to represent the pi 1, pi 2, pi 3? Here they have represented. As I told you, x1 is an independent and other are dependent variable. Then this is suppose pi 1, pi 2 and suppose this is pi 3. Then you can observe here there are 2 types of variable. One is known as repeating variable. Repeating means what? This x2 is coming in all the equations of pi 1, pi 2 and pi 3. Suppose x2, x2, x2. It is coming. Then you can see x3, x3, x3. It is again coming. So this is also repeating variable. x4, x4, x4. This is again repeating variable. But if you see x1, x5 and xn, these are known as non-repeating variable. So what I am saying is, when you decide the pi terms, number of pi term, pi 1, pi 2, pi 3, every pi terms consist of some repeating variable and some non-repeating variable. Okay, so repeating variable means what? The variable which is coming in all the pi equations. So you can see here all pi equation which is known as repeating variable. Here example is x2, and what is the non-repeating example? x1 and x5. So these are example of non-repeating variable. x2, here example is also x3. You can see x3 is also repeating. So we can solve this equation and we can find out the dimensionless term pi. Pi is known as dimensionless term. Okay, but there is a rules how to determine the repeating and non-repeating variable. Suppose in the examination, let's say one problem is there. Suppose y1 is equal to, or y1 is a function of suppose y2, y3, y4, y5, y6. Suppose this is a equation, it means y1 is a dependent and these are independent variables. So now suppose you want to determine the relationship between these equations. So again we know that to determine a pi term we have two dimension variables, repeating and non-repeating variable. Then student will ask the question, out of these variable which one should be the repeating and which one should be non-repeating. Then Buckingham's pi theorem has rules which determines which should be repeating and which should be non-repeating. Let's understand these rules. Methods of selecting repeating variable. What is the method to select the repeating variable? Number one, as far as possible, dependent variable should not be selected as repeating variable. So in this example, I told you that y1 is a dependent. Okay, y1 is a dependent variable, and these all are independent variables. Okay, so what is the rule? This should not be repeating variable. Okay, this should not be repeating variable. You can take out of this any repeating variable. Okay, in this equation also you can see in the past example, as here x1 is dependent. You can see x1 is depend on this thing. So we have selected x1 as a non-repeating instead of repeating variable. So first rule is that dependent variable should not be selected as a repeating variable. Number two, this is very important rule. How to select the repeating variable? Number one, first should be the geometric property of the material. Okay, so geometric property means either you can select length, either you can select diameter, or either you can select h. Out of these three, what is the data given that you can select? If length is given, the first repeating variable should be length. The second one, variable should be flow property. First should be the geometric property, second should be flow property. Or what is meant by flow property? It may be velocity, it may be acceleration, it may be angular velocity, it may be angular acceleration. Out of these two, whatever is given, you have to select second one. Suppose you have taken length first, velocity second, and third one, it should be a fluid property. Fluid property means either it should be viscosity of fluid, density of fluid, or omega of the fluid. Out of these three, whatever is given to you, you can select as a fluid property. Third one, the repeating variable selected should not form a dimensionless group. It means if suppose you are selecting a repeating variable which is not having or which is not forming any dimensionless group, you should not select these. I will explain this while solving the problem. The repeating variable together must have same number of fundamental dimensions. Means what? If you are taking repeating variable, all have the same fundamental dimension. In throughout our syllabus, we are taking only three fundamental dimensions, that is m, l and t. We are not considering the temperature. So sometimes what happen, if some dimension is having only mlt and some dimensions are having mlt theta, then this should not be selected. Only all should have similar dimensions. Okay. Number 5, no two repeating variables should have same dimensions. Example, if you are taking L and D, then these two having the same dimension. Length is having dimension meter, diameter is also having dimension meter. So you should not select these two at a time. You should select only one out of two. So I told you, you select first from this group, you select second one from this group, and you select third one from this group. Then here they have given some example. In most of the fluid mechanics problem, the choices of repeating variable are, if you select first choice as a length, second choice as a velocity, and third choice as a rho, then first combination is, you can select here L, V, rho. If diameter is given, you can take diameter, velocity and rho. Diameter, velocity and rho. What may be your third choice? Length, velocity and viscosity. Viscosity, if viscosity is given, length, velocity, viscosity. You can see length, velocity, viscosity. And last option is diameter, velocity and viscosity. Diameter, velocity and viscosity. If suppose in the examination height is given, acceleration also given, omega also given, then you can make third combination also, h, acceleration, alpha and omega. So it depends on the problem, what is given in the problem, and based on that you can select the combination of repeating variable. And after selecting the repeating variable, whatever the remaining variables are there, these are called as non-repeating variables. Thank you.